Hi guys, this is review 2.1. That means tomorrow you will be testing. So we're going to go ahead and get started, and I'm going to go ahead and start with number 1. So number 1 reads 0.4 times x plus 3.9 equals 5.78. Now in this type of questions, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and do a line through the equal sign. And my goal is to figure out what x is equal to. So I'm going to say x equals. That's what I end up with. Okay. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say, well, what do I get rid of first? Do I get rid of, because my goal is to leave the x by itself. So I got to get rid of this 0.4 and that 3.9. But which one do I get rid of first? Do I get rid of 0.4 or 3.9? Yes, we're going to get rid of 3.9. Now, how do we get rid of 3.9? What is the inverse or the opposite of a positive 3.9 or a plus 3.9? Yes, the opposite would be minus 3.9. Now remember that if you do it to one side, you have to do it to the other. So minus 3.9, that gets canceled out. And I'm left with 0.4x. 5.78 minus 3.9, that is going to give me 1.88. Now, when you have a number and a letter together, notice that there's nothing in between the number and the letter. That is because that is considered to be multiplication. What is the opposite of multiplication? Yes. The opposite of multiplication is division. So instead of multiplying by 0.4, I'm going to divide by 0.4. Notice that I did not change that 0.4. It's still the same. It's still a positive 0.4. What I changed was that division, that multiplication in the middle to the division. Okay? That's what I changed. Once you do that, 0.4 divided by 0.4 gives you that 1, so that's taken away because there's only one x. Okay, and then you're going to do 1.88 divided by 0.4. So I'm going to do 1.88 divided by 0.4. Goes in 1 to the right, 1 to the right. No. 4 into 18 goes in 4. That gives me 16. 2 left, bring down the 8, and 4 into 28 is 7. So I get a 4.7 as an answer. So 1.88 divided by 0.4 gives me 4.7. So x is equal to 4.7. They are both positive, positive at the top, positive at the bottom. So the answer will be positive. And that was question number 1. Number 2. 3 times p minus 2 equals negative 29. A line through the equal sign, p equals. And again, what do I get rid of first? The 3 or the 2? Yes, that is correct, a negative 2. And the opposite of a negative 2 would be a yes, a positive 2. So I'm going to do plus 2 plus 2. Negative 2 plus 2 is 0, so that's canceled out. I'm left with 3p on the left side. And negative 29 plus 2. What is negative 29 plus 2? Yes, Negative 29 plus 2 is negative 27. How do I get that? Well, it's asking you to add, it says plus, negative 29 plus 2, okay? But how come we're not adding? Well, we're not adding because this is a negative and this is a positive. When there are two different signs, instead of adding, we subtract. So 29 minus 2 is 27. Keep the sign of the biggest absolute value, which is 29, and 29 is negative. So it gives me negative 27. Now, what is my next step here? What would I have to do next to get rid of this 3, to isolate or leave the letter P by itself? Yes, that is correct. I have to, instead of multiplying by 3, which is what I'm doing, remember when a letter and a number are together, that means multiplication. So instead of multiplying, which is that little dot that I'm trying to put there, it's going to be divide. And what do I divide by? I was multiplying by 3, so I'm going to divide by 3. Notice that I still have the same number. I'm still using the 3. I just changed the multiplication to division. So this gets 3 divided by 3 is 1. So it's 1p. That's why it's only 1p. And then negative 27 divided by 3. What is negative 27 divided by 3? Very good, excellent. It gives me a 9, or actually a negative 9. Remember that for multiplication and division, if you multiply or you divide, one negative stays as a negative, two negatives become positive. So just let's remember that. So P equals negative 9. Number 3. I have negative 9 plus n divided by 4 equals negative 7. Negative 9 plus n divided by 4 equals negative 7. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a line. And I'm going to put n equals, because that's my variable, the letter n. And what do I get rid of first? The negative 9 or that 4? Yes, you are correct. The negative 9, remember, we get rid of the number that is farthest away from the letter n. So negative 9 is a little bit farther. So we get rid of the negative 9. What is the inverse of negative 9? Yes, very good. The inverse of negative 9 is positive 9. So I'm going to say plus 9. Plus 9. Negative 9 plus 9 is 0, which is why we get rid of it. And I'm left with n over 4, or n divided by 4. What is negative 7 plus 9? Negative 7 plus 9. Very good. Negative 7 plus 9 is positive 2. Why? Because here we have the plus sign. Yes, we do. But why are we not adding? Because 7 is negative and 9 is positive. So I cannot add them because they're different signs. So instead of adding, I subtract. 9 minus 7 is 2. And keep the sign of the biggest absolute value, which is 9 is bigger, the absolute value, and it's positive, so positive 2. What is my next step here? How do I get rid of that 4? Very good. The way to get rid of that dividing by 4 is we're going to go ahead and multiply by 4. So instead of divide by 4, we're going to multiply times 4. Multiply times 4. Okay? So this cancels out. I'm left with n. And what is 2 times 4? Very good. 8. You guys are doing awesome. Number 4. Again, same thing. I'm going to put a line through the equal sign. Oh, this is the letter R, equals. And what do I get rid of first? The 12. or the 4? Very good, the 4. Now, what is the inverse of plus 4? Negative 4. Very good. Plus 4 minus 4 gives you 0, so I get rid of it. And I'm left with 12r equals, what's 100 minus 4? What's 100 minus 4? Very good, 96. What is the following step that I need to do? What is my next step? How do I get rid of that 12 to leave r by itself, to isolate the r? Very good. Instead of multiplying times 12, because remember that a number and a letter together means multiplication. So instead of multiplying, which is the little dot that I'm putting, I'm going to divide. And what am I going to divide by? I'm going to divide by 12. So this cancels out. I'm left with r, and 96 divided by 12 gives me 8. Okay? So 1 through 4 were questions, just basic regular questions about how to solve a two-step equation with one variable, which means with one letter. Okay, number 5. Kyle gives away pens at a convention. He buys 6 boxes of pens that each hold P number of pens. So he buys 6 boxes of pens that each hold P number of pens. He adds the boxes to the 64 pens he already has. In total, Kyle has 394 pens to take to the convention. How many pens, this is the question, how many pens are in each box? So we're going to go ahead and draw this. We know that he adds the boxes to the 64 pens that he already has. So I'm going to go ahead and put here my 6 boxes. These are the 6 boxes of pens. Do I know how many pens are in this box? No, I do not, which is the reason why I'm going to label them P. Because P is a number of pens in the box, right? I really don't know. Okay. And he adds the 64 pens that he already has. So here's the boxes of pens that he has. And now he's going to add 64 pens. Okay. And that is going to give me a total of 394 pens. Now remember how I told you that we can convert pictures into equations? What can I turn these boxes into? How can I express these boxes as an expression? Very good. I can convert these 6 boxes to say, well, there are 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 P's, 6 packs or 6 boxes of pens, and I don't know how many are there. So 6 times however many pens are in each box. And then plus 64 equals 394. So I'm back into a regular equation, and I'm going to go ahead and put the line. What do I get rid of first to know what letter P is? Very good. I'm going to get rid of 64, and the opposite is minus 64. This cancels out. I'm left with 6P. And 394 minus 64 gives me very good. 330. What is my next step? How do I get rid of that 6 next to the letter P? You're absolutely right. I'm going to go ahead, instead of multiplying times 6. I'm going to divide by 6. This cancels out. I'm left with P, and 330 divided by 6 gives me 55. So P equals 55. How many pens are in each box? Well, each box, if you look at this box has a P, which means P equals 55. So in each box, I have 55 pens. Letter B. Okay? If you were to actually write it down, if you were to say, well, there's 55 pens here, 55, 55, 55, 55, 55. If you would say 55 plus 55 plus 55 plus 55 plus 55 plus 65 plus 64, you would get your 394 pens because each box represents 55 pens. Number 6. Which problem matches the equation below? Here's the equation. 5x, or 5 times x minus 8 equals 22. So I'm going to read letter A, and we're going to decide whether that one is true or not true. Like, does it match or does it not match? Letter A. John has 8 packs of hot dogs. He ate 5 hot dogs and had 22 hot dogs left. How many hot dogs are in each pack? I want to know how many hot dogs are in each pack. Would letter A match? Yes or no? No, very good. Letter A does not match because it's saying, first of all, it says that he ate 5 hot dogs. So that would be minus 5 hot dogs, and I'm not saying minus 5, I'm saying minus 8. So that's one way to take it off. The other way is it's 8 packs. They're not 8 packs, they're 5. So no. Letter B. John had 5 hot dogs. He ate 8 packs of hot dogs and had 22 hot dogs left. How many hot dogs are in each pack? Is that true? Yes or no? Very good. This one is not true. Why not? Because it's saying that he ate 8 packs. Is he eating 8 packs? 8 packs would be 8 times x. No. And it doesn't say that he had 5 hot dogs. It says he had 5 packs. So no. Letter C. John had 22 packs of hot dogs. He ate 8 packs and had 5 hot dogs left. True. Yes or no? Very good. No, obviously he did not have 5 hot dogs left. It says he had 22. So the answer is not letter C. And we're going to look at letter D. John had 5 packs of hot dogs. 5 packs. He ate 8 hot dogs, so minus the 8 hot dogs, and had 22 hot dogs left. That is the only one that makes sense. So the answer is letter D. And again, all we're doing is just choosing, does it match or does it not match? Okay, does it make sense to it? Number 7. Put a line through the equal sign. X equals. What is the opposite of plus 12? Minus 12. Minus 12. I'm left with x over negative 4 equals. What is negative 26 minus 12? What is negative 26 minus 12? Yes, very good. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and double check how to do that. How do we get the answer negative 26 minus 12? What we're going to do, keep, change, change. Keep the negative 26, change the minus to a plus, and the 12 to a negative 12. If you notice, we end up with negative 26 plus negative 12. They're asking us to add, which in this case we will, because they're both negative. 26 plus 12 gives you 38, and we keep the negative. So it's going to be negative 38. Now, how do we get rid of that negative 4? How do we get rid of negative 4? Very good. Instead of dividing, because this means division, instead of dividing by negative 4, I'm going to multiply times negative 4. So I end up with x equals, what is negative 38 times negative 4? Negative 38 times negative 4. Yes, if I do negative 38 times negative 4, I get 152. Why? Because they're both negative. Two negatives make a positive, so x is equal to 152. Number 8. Go ahead and put a line through the equal sign. J equals. Which number do I get rid of first, the negative 8 or the negative 18? Yes, very good. The negative 18. What is the opposite? Yes, plus 18. Plus 18. This cancels out. I'm left with negative 8j equals. What is negative 50 plus 18? Negative 50 plus 18. You're absolutely right. Okay. It says there to add them, it says plus, but can I really add a negative and a positive? No. So instead of adding, I'm going to subtract 50 minus 18. It gives me 32. And because 50 has a greater absolute value and it's negative, I'm going to keep the negative. So again, end up with negative 32. How do I get rid of that negative 8? What is the opposite of multiplying by negative 8? Very good. I'm going to divide by negative 8. Cancels out. I'm left with j. And negative 32 divided by negative 8 gives me 4. Remember that two negatives cancel out and 32 divided by 8 is 4. So j is equal to 4. Okay, guys, we're going to go ahead and continue. We're going to go ahead and continue on number 9. And this one says, this one's a model, and we're going to go ahead and just write down what we see, basically. How many x's do we see? 3 x's. And then, how many boxes here? 2. Positive or negative? I have a middle negative sign, so negative. So it's going to be 3 x's minus 2 equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. And they're positive. So 3x minus 2 equals 4. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to work it out. I'm going to move it over here just so that I can have a little bit of more space. Okay. What do I get rid of first? Minus 2. What is the opposite of minus 2? Very good. Plus 2. I'm left with 3x. And what is 4 plus 2? 6. Very good. What is my next step here? How do I get rid of 3? Very good. I'm going to divide by 3. Cancels out. X is equal to, what is 6 divided by 3? 2. So x is equal to 2. Number 10. How many x's do we see? 4 x's. They're positive. And then plus 1 equals 1, 2, 3. Here, what do I get rid of? Plus 1 becomes minus 1. I'm left with 4x equals. And what's 3 minus 1? 2. What is my next step? Yes, very good. I'm going to divide by 4. X is 2 over 4. So I'm going to do 2 divided by 4. It goes in 0, add a decimal, add a 0, 0.5. So 0.5, so X is 0.5. Okay. Number 11. How many X's do we see? 2. They're positive, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, minus 4 because they're negative, equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What do I get rid of first? Very good. I get rid of the negative 4 by doing what? How do I get rid of that negative 4? Very good, by adding 4. What's 8 plus 4? Very good. 12. How do I get rid of 2? Awesome. Dividing by 2, which is the opposite, right? So X is equal to 6. You guys are doing great. And then we're going to go ahead and number 12. How many X's do we see? 2 X's. Then 1, 2, then plus 2 equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but they're negative. So 2x plus 2 equals negative 6. Put a line through it. I get rid of that plus 2 by doing minus 2. What is negative 6? And then put 2x, sorry. What is negative 6 minus 2? Very good. It is negative 8. Let's just see how it's negative 8. Keep, change. Keep the negative 6. The minus becomes a plus. The 2 becomes a negative. Can you add 2 negatives? Yes, because they're the same sign. As long as they're the same sign, we can add them. So we're going to add 6 and 2 gets 8, and we keep our sign. Again, because we're adding them. We have negatives, and more negatives, we become more negative. Okay? And how do I get rid of that 2? By dividing by 2. X equals, what's negative 8 divided by 2? Negative 8 divided by 2. Very good, negative 4. Okay. So if you look at 9 through 12, there were picture and there were models. All you had to do was make them into an equation, which is what we did, and then solve the equation. Okay. Let's look at number 13. Number 13 is a little bit different. However, it's not difficult to do. It's just a little bit different. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit of paper here just to work them out because I want to have enough space. Okay. So we're going to read it first. And it tells you which equation is true when the value of x is equal to negative 12. Okay, so we're going to try letter A first, and I'm going to write it down. Half of x plus 22 equals 20. The thing is, we already know that x is equal to negative 12. So I'm going to write it again, but this time the x will be a negative 12. It has to give me 20. We're going to work it out and we're going to see, does it give me 20, yes or no? What is half of negative 12? What is half of negative 12? Think of half. Half of negative 12. Very good, negative 6. And what is negative 6 plus 22? That is correct too. It is 16. How come I'm not adding this plus, but I cannot add them because they're different? So you end up subtracting, and that's how you end up with 16. Did I get 20? No. So A is out. Okay, they're not equal. That's why it's not the answer. I'm going to try letter B now. (11 minus 2x equals 17). I'm going to write it down again. 11 minus 2, the x becomes a negative 12. Okay. And I'm going to work it out. 11. What is negative 2 times negative 12? Negative 2 times negative 12 is positive 24. 11 plus 24 gives me 35. Did I get, or are these two numbers equal to each other? No. So then that's not the answer. Let's do C. (15 minus half of x equals 21). 15 minus half x is negative 12. Don't forget that. And I'm going to work it out. I'm going to say 15. What is negative half times negative 12? Or let's put it this way. Since they're both negatives and not multiplying, it's going to be positive. So what is half of 12? 6. What is 15 plus 6? 21. Are they equal to each other? Yes. Again, how did I do this part? If you pretend that there's no negatives, remember when you're multiplying numbers, you don't have to look at the negatives just yet. So just think of half of 12. What is half of 12? 6. But because there's two negatives when you multiply them is positive, so it's a positive 6, so plus 6, okay? And let's look at letter D. Just to make sure. What's 3 times negative 12? Negative 36 minus 19 equals. No, it's negative. Again, I'm not supposed to have this here. Sorry, guys. 3 times negative 12 is negative 36 minus 19. What is negative 36 minus 19? Very good. Negative 36 minus 19. Remember to do keep, change. Keep negative 36, change minus, and negative 19. Negative 36 plus negative 19 gives you negative 45. Did I get the negative 17 that I had? No. So the answer is letter C.